before we get to the show, you're welcome to Weekend Whispers with Williams. While we are on break after season 2 of In Reality podcast, I'll be having a weekend broadcast where I'll be whispering my personal opinions on certain topics. You're welcome to www. Is it www or www? Anyways, back to the show. Marriage goes beyond sex. Right? There are people who get married and they say, oh, after we got married, we did it over and over again. We are tired. What keeps a relationship is not sex. What keeps a relationship is communication. If you have faith in God for things like your car, you have faith in God for money, you have faith in God for food, you have faith in God for provision. I feel also that you should also have faith in God for the spouse you want to get married to. You don't need to get involved intimately with them before ascertaining that they are good for marriage. For me, I feel that before you actually get romantically involved with the person, you guys should be on a level of communication. You should date your friend. Hello everybody, you're welcome to Weekend Whispers with Williams. So for those who have been following us for In Reality podcast from season 1 to season 2, I just want to say thank you so much. So we are on break right now after season 2 of In Reality podcast. And I decided, well, while we are on break, why not we have a weekend gist every weekend in the month of November. Then by December, we have a 12-day live series on our Instagram handle. So you're welcome to the first. We are meant to be on your screens by last week, but due to some issues, I couldn't make it. But thank God that we are here today. So today I'm going to be talking about something very, very interesting. It's Weekend Whispers, right? So I'll be talking about topics that seems to bother me and some topics that we should look into, and I want to share my personal opinion. That's why it's called Williams Whispers. So I want to whisper my opinion on those topics. And first topic for this week is the topic relating to relationship, dating, and sex. Do you really think it's necessary that before marriage, sex should be involved? Do you think that sex should be nothing, like it shouldn't be an issue as a Christian before you get married? Now, this question is something that is being asked every time because people they feel, oh, it's just a biological thing, right? It's just something, just a one-time thing, a 5 minutes pleasure, or a 10 minutes pleasure, or 15 minutes pleasure, 20, as long as you can go. But people just think, do you really think it's an issue? Do you really think it's a major problem? Do we think sex is a major problem when it comes to relationship, when it comes to dating and everything? So, as the law of first mentioned, whatever we are doing as Christians, we need to refer back to the scripture. So let's go back to the scripture. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, it says, "And the Lord God said, it's not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmate for him. I will make an helpmate for him." So God created man, and God saw that it's not good that man, Adam, should be alone. So God said, I'm going to make a woman, and he created Eve. So Eve came to the equation after Adam was being created. And the Bible said, if you go behind, it said, let them multiply, let them. So the issue of multiplication was spoken in the context of sex because the only way to multiply is through sex, right? And the only way sex is involved is if man and woman has come together. So God is actually saying that multiplication is derived from sex, and sex is found in the context of marriage. So whatever we are doing, you should know that sex and marriage. But people usually have this opinion that sex as a Christian is just. Even as a Christian, as an unbeliever, sex is just biological. But aside that, let's look at how sex has affected relationships in the 21st century. There are people who, because of them losing their virginity at a very young age, probably to a guy who they are dating, there's something called soul tie. So I've seen scenarios where I've heard also scenarios whereby someone who you are dating, you guys got involved intimately, and because of that, even though you're done with that person, the relationship is broken, you guys have moved on with your life, but somehow you just find a way of getting back to it. And because you didn't see it as an issue in the first relationship, subsequent relationships, if that topic is being brought about, you won't really see it as an issue. So I want to know what your comment is on the comment box. Do you really think as Christians, sex isn't really like an issue. Sex is not something that should be discussed about, or sex is just something biological. But for me, I think that sex has a way of affecting somebody, especially I mean, you have sex with someone you're not married to, and after the minutes of pleasure, one of the reasons why relationships these days is finding it so difficult to people find it so difficult to leave people after they say they are no longer doing again. It's because they are overcommitted. I mean, you've given your money, you've given your body, you've given a lot, you've given your time. So I don't want to do again. Pulling away seems quite difficult because, oh, he used me. On the other hand, the guy will say she used me. But I feel that nobody used nobody. You guys used yourself. We used we, right? Because it wasn't a rape situation in this bill. You were intimately involved willingly with this guy. And because of how intimately involved you were with this guy, I mean, I've seen scenarios where people are in a relationship but they keep going back to their ex. Why? Because the guy is good in bed. The guy is, and some people really think that, oh, because I want to get married to someone, I feel I should test this person if the person is active. I mean, we walk by faith as Christians. I mean, we walk by faith as Christians, right? What the foundation of everything we do as Christians is faith. So if we feel that we need to test somebody before getting married to the person, where is the quotient? Where's the quotient of faith in that scenario? I mean, do you feel that God, after a long time of devotion to God, God is going to give you someone who's impotent, or God is going to give you someone who I don't know the word to use. Do you feel that after a long time of service to God, God will give you someone who doesn't match to your standard? If you have faith in God for things that things like your car, you have faith in God for money, you have faith in God for food, you have faith in God for provision. I feel also that you should also have faith in God for the spouse you want to get married to. You don't need to get involved intimately with them before ascertaining that, oh, they are good for marriage. Marriage goes beyond sex. Right? There are people who get married and they say, oh, after we got married, we did it over and over again. We are tired. What keeps a relationship is not sex. What keeps a relationship is communication. I mean, and that's why I said, for me, I feel that before you actually get romantically involved with the person, you guys should be on a level of communication. You should date your friend. There's something that comes when you date your friend. You guys have seen yourself finish. You guys talk a lot. I mean, you guys have an advanced level of communication. I don't feel that you should just meet someone for the first week and you're asking the person out. There should be several weeks of communication. You guys should have the same communication um, grounds so that when you get into a relationship, you know that apart being romantically or emotionally involved with this person, if you guys sit down on a round table to have a conversation, then you guys are actually flowing very well. For me, communication is the basics of any relationship. Personally, I don't like talking about relationships because I don't like the subject of relationship due to my past. My heart has not been broken before, but due to my past, I don't like talking about relationship or sex or anything. But for the context of this series, trust me, I feel as a Christian, sex is not meant for singles. Sex is meant for married people. And trust me, if you're out there and you have given into sex before, this is not a video of condemnation. This is me saying that, oh, where the new starts is when you give up the old. Oh, this has happened. I move on. From today, you make a new resolution and you move on with yourself. But I feel that sex is, the Bible has laid out several scriptures talking about sex, talking about fornication, and all of them. And I feel that as Christians, that is a subject we need to look into. So for me, my weekend whispers for this week is sex is only permitted in the context of marriage. Sex is permitted in the context of marriage. A bonus tips before I leave your face, a bonus tip before I leave your screens this evening. So for me, I feel that one of the things you should check out for when getting into a relationship is one, the values of the person. Does this person, me and this person, are we of the same value? Is she a Christian? Is she a devoted Christian? Because someone can be a Christian, according to one of the politicians in my country. Someone can be a Christian, but is not a born again Christian. So is the person a born again Christian? I mean, if the person say, I've given my life to Christ, as actually the person giving his or her life to Christ, right? What is your value standards? Then you go forward to the communication, go forward to your deal breakers. What are things you know that you can't deal with the person? Personally, I can't deal with a woman that nags. She knows how to bring up conversation from the past and make it afresh again. I can't deal with nagging. So there are things that you know that you can deal with, and there are things you know that you cannot deal with. The things that you cannot deal with are called deal breakers. So these are one of the things you should look out for. Then let's not look as though I'm just looking at the inward person, the appearance of the person. There are people, I don't really like busted persons. I don't really like big or fat persons. I like slim persons. I like yeah, all those things are good. But before you look at the container, look at the content, right? Look at the content before the container. So thank you very much for joining me this week on Weekend Whispers with Williams. Next Saturday, a new series drop, a new episode drop rather. Please do it to follow me on all social media platforms, on Instagram at Williams at In Reality Podcast, on YouTube at Williams at In Reality Podcast, on TikTok at In Reality Podcast, on Twitter platform again, on Facebook at In Reality Podcast, Williams Evidence, and I'll see you next week. Bye.